This is Walter, a co-founder of Gaming Lariat, and we're here today to talk about some of the Wrestle Kingdom and Battle in the Valley Fallout and everything that's happened with New Japan and a lot of Japan in the first 2 months of this year. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it, starting with Wrestle Kingdom at the Tokyo Dome on January the 4th, and night one saw Hiromu Takahashi win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship again after quite some time, defeating Taiji Ishimori, El Desperado, and Master Wato. But the big story out of that match was Master Wato looking like a big threat and elevating himself as the most dangerous person in that match and setting himself up for a future as one of the pillars of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight division, and more on that later. And Kenny Omega made his long-awaited return from for some back to a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring, and he defeated United Empire leader Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship in one of the headline matches. And Kazuchika Okada defeated Jay White for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in the marquee match, sending everyone home, kind of wrapping up most of what was New Japan's 50th anniversary. And on night two, on January 21st at Yokohama Arena, um, before we get into some of the headline and marquee matches, one of the stories that stole the show was the worked shoot between Kazuchika Okada and Kaito Kiyomiya, where for 10 seconds I thought Kiyomiya literally did go in business for himself and kick Okada in the head, but that was not the case. And it set up a very interesting angle that has got Kiyomiya a lot of attention, and by proxy Noah throughout Japan for this angle. It all the way from Okada a couple of nights ago attacking Kiyomiya and setting up a match that's going to happen in just several hours from now at Keiji Muto's retirement show at the Tokyo Dome for Pro Wrestling Noah. So that was a very interesting. And at the conclusion of the show, Manu Basoya defeated Sonata and was the first match, and which was one of the matches that was in the Lij against Congo, which was the big draw for the event. And Soya won that match against his former tag team partner. And Shingo Takagi defeated Katsushika Nakajima for the first time, and Tetsuya Naito defeated Kinoa in the marquee to end up the show. But again, one of the big stories was Kiyomiya and Okada and where everything that's going. And we also learned that Naito is going to face Muto at the marquee match for the retirement show on the 21st, but again, which is in just a few hours from now. And going into that, we also learned that the All Star Junior Festival, being promoted by New Japan, and the angle around that was that Hiromu Takahashi was putting together this gigantic junior festival with promotions from Japan, and by proxy, CMLL, a member of the IWGP Conception, which Atlantis Jr., son of the legendary Atlantis in Mexico, Sobanero Jr., and Volador Jr. all are representing CML. Some other names that we have: former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, the great Sasuke from Michinoku Pro, four-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Minoru Tanaka. One time he won the title under the name Heat in the Mask of Heat. He's also going to be at the show representing GLEAT. And we're also going to have Dragon Kid, a student of Ultimo Dragon from Dragon Gate, already announced. There's going to be more announcements. And from New Japan so far, we have Bushi, Doki, El Desperado, Hiromu Takahashi, Master Wato, Raisuke Taguchi, Sho, and Taiji Ishimori so far announced. And some names from Noah, we have Yohei, Ninja Mac, and Hayata. So it's a gigantic culmination of junior heavyweights, mostly from Japan, but also some from Mexico as well. And going into Battle in the Valley, that was on the 18th and sold out in mere hours after the whole Wrestle Kingdom program between Kyrie and Mercedes Moné, that saw that this match was going to take place. Mercedes Moné first match outside of the E was taking place at the San Jose Civic Center for Battle in the Valley. That got a lot of attention, sold tickets very fast, probably sold a lot of pay-per-view views, which are probably not going to be made public to journalists like me because they kind of want to keep some things private. But one of the headlines saw Zack Sabre Jr. successfully defend his New Japan World TV Championship against Clark Connors, one of the LA Dojo graduates. And Mercedes Moné defeated Kyrie in a very physical match to become the second IWGP Women's Championship. It was a bit of a shame that Stardom wasn't mentioned more by commentary in this match. The title is co-promoted by Stardom, and Mercedes Moné is likely going to work with Stardom extensively and like Kyrie bring a lot of new eyes onto Stardom, which is just going to help that promotion grow. And hopefully soon we'll be seeing Stardom shows in the United States, which is just great for women's wrestling all around the world. If you care about women's wrestling, you care about equality in wrestling, that's Stardom is definitely a promotion you should be pulling for because you get women all the time and they're not relegated to opening matches or one match a show. And we also, in the big news that happened, I believe last night, when this was recorded, Yuji Nagata became the fifth person after Kensuke Sasaki, Yoshihiro Takayama, Satoshi Kojima, and Keiji Muto to win what's called as the Japanese Triple Crown, with becoming winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, the GHC Championship, and the Triple Crown Championship when he won the Triple Crown Championship at 54 years old. Honestly, he's one of my favorite wrestlers with Ultimo Dragon, so it's a really interesting thing to see, and it's going to open up new angles for All Japan to do as well. So that's a very interesting thing that happened. Some history, and Yuji Nagata is also one of one to win the G1, the Global League / N1 in Noah, and the Champions Carnival in All Japan. So he's already in the Wrestling Observers Hall of Fame, but I don't think a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame entry is out of the question for him at this point. So that is kind of everything that is going on right now. And also Fantastica Mania, which is co-promoted by CMLL and New Japan Pro Wrestling, is starting on February 22nd. All 6 events are going to be live on New Japan World. So if you're new to Lucha Libre, you like Lucha Libre, and want to see how they wrestle against some New Japan talent, there's going to be 6 events for you happening at the end of this month. And then the All-Star Junior Festival is on March 1st as well. So you have a lot of big things happening in wrestling right now. And I guess also one thing at Battle in the Valley, Eddie Kingston defeated Jay White. So it looks like that Jay White might be gone from New Japan. So that might be a sad note for a lot of fans, as people probably figure out that he's going to the E, and how that's going to turn out. It's not always great for New Japan made talent in the E. That mostly isn't great for the most part. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in his future and if he ever returns back to New Japan. So that is everything, and we'll be back soon with more wrestling news on Gaming Lair.